Hello, this is a lecture video for Law 20023, Business Laws and Regulations. For this quite short, relatively short lecture, we will be discussing the provisions of the Revised Corporation Code on bylaws. So what are bylaws? Bylaws, no? What are bylaws? So ang bylaws, these are rules, no? These are internal rules made by the corporation for its own government in order to regulate the conduct and define the duties of the stockholders or members towards the corporation and amongst themselves. So pag bylaws, I always look at bylaws as the internal rules of the corporation. So hihiwalay ito sa Articles of Incorporation. Ang Articles of Incorporation sets forth the um, uh, gives rise rather to the existence of a corporation. So para magkaroon ka ng corporation, it is necessary that you come up with an articles of incorporation, not necessarily for you to come up with your set of bylaws. Pero once na na-organize mo na yung bylaws, you have to come up with your internal rules or house rules, kumbaga. So yung bylaws, yun yung yun yung function niya to regulate yung magiging conduct ng mga stockholders, yung kung kailan gagawin yung meetings, paano magpapadala ng notice, ganun. So meron siyang mga tawag dito, yun yung mga nakalagay doon, which are again independent of the articles of incorporation. But in practice, no, usually in organizing a corporation, sabay na ina-adapt ang articles at saka yung bylaws and yung pag-submit sa SEC ng iyong mga incorporation papers ay usually sabay ginagawa. Okay? Although hindi required. Okay? Another definition, bylaws are the rules and regulations or the private laws enacted by the corporation to regulate, govern, and control its own actions. So internal affairs talaga ang pinapatungkulan ng bylaws. So walang masyadong pakialam yung mga third parties with respect to the contents of the bylaws. Own actions, affairs, and concerns of its stockholders or members, as well as the directors and officers with relation thereto and among themselves in relation to it. So, kanya-kanya pang sa kanila lang talaga yung bylaws. Although usually, yung mga third parties, hinihingi yung bylaws ng isang corporation. Ngayon ko na na-realize, bakit nga kaya nila hinihingi? Hindi ka rin, nga no, ba't nga? Siguro to prove kailan ba talaga dapat tagakanda ka ng regular meeting, yan. Don't know, baka gusto na makichismis. So, pag nag-a-adapt ng bylaws, dalawa yan. Pwedeng i-adapt mo siya prior to incorporation, meaning at the time that you are just organizing the corporation, nakapag-adapt ka na ng bylaws. But it is also possible that you will adapt the bylaws after incorporation. Ngayon, sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, hindi mandatory na kapag nag-incorporate ka ng isang entity ay kasabay mong pinapasa yung bylaws. Pwedeng yung articles of incorporation lang or pwedeng articles of incorporation together with the bylaws. So prior to incorporation, andyan na siya. Yung bylaws after mo siya ma-issuehan ka ng certificate of incorporation by the SEC. Anyway, may difference yan. Prior to incorporation, the bylaws must be signed by all the incorporators without need of the majority vote of the outstanding capital stock or the members, as long as the bylaws are submitted together with the articles of incorporation. So that is prior to the incorporation. Kasi pipirma naman lahat ng incorporators eh. So wala nang kailangan pang ibang kumpirma dyan. But if the adoption of the bylaws will be made after incorporation, the bylaws must be submitted. Ito yung totoong slide. After incorporation, the bylaws must be submitted to the SEC after receipt of the notice of the issuance of certificate of registration or incorporation, and it must be approved by majority of the outstanding capital stock or members. So if the bylaws will be adopted after incorporation, merong approval, diba? I think nasa previous lecture video natin to, merong approval of the majority of the outstanding owners of individual holding the majority of the outstanding capital stock. Ito, unamended to. Meron tayong one month period to file the bylaws, pero under the revised corporation code, natanggal na yan. Okay? Ewan ko ba't hindi natanggal sa slide. Okay. Ito yung mga public interest corporations. Paulit-ulit natin ito nadadaanan. Every step nila, actually lahat ng ginagawa ng mga public interest corporation, lagi may magpapa-amend ng articles, mag-a-adapt ng bylaws, no? The Commission shall not accept for filing the bylaws of any amendment thereto of any bank, banking institution, building and loan association, trust company, insurance company, public utility, educational institution, and other special corporations governed by special laws, unless they are accompanied by a certificate of the appropriate agency to the effect that such bylaws or amendments are in accordance with law. Kumbaga dun sa discussion natin before ng amendment of the Articles of Incorporation, maaaring ito yung katumbas ng Certificate of No Objection. Diba? That the regulating agency, for example, bangko yan, magpapa-amend ng bylaws or mag-a-adapt sila ng bylaws, hindi i-accept ng SEC yung yung application na for the amendment of the bylaws if hindi accompanied ito ng tinatawag na Certificate of No Objection from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, because the BSP supervises and regulates yung mga bangko, or the Insurance Commission. So if the corporation who is applying for the amendment of the bylaws is an insurance company, the SEC will not entertain the application for the amendment if the application is not accompanied by a certificate of no objection from the Insurance Commission, which oversees the operations of insurance companies here in the Philippines. So, ganyan yung magiging situation natin. Actually, ganun naman talaga. Every step of the way, lahat ng gagawin, lahat ng transaction essentially ng mga public interest corporations with the SEC requires the approval from, separate approval from the regulating agency. So pag nag-adapt kayo ng bylaws or nag-amend kayo ng bylaws, the adoption or the amendment will take effect only after the approval by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So ano pa rin naman, interested pa, although internal affairs ang nire-regulate ng mga bylaws, it must still comply with the requirements of the Revised Corporation Code and other pertinent laws. So inaaprobahan pa rin yan ng Securities and Exchange Commission, and the effectivity of the bylaws, whether by adoption or by amendment or repeal of the bylaws, will take effect only upon the approval of the SEC. Okay, what are the contents of the bylaws? So, a private corporation may provide for the following bylaws. Ito yung mga internal affairs ng isang corporation. Una, the time, place, and manner of calling and conducting regular or special meetings of the directors or the trustees. So nakalagay doon, the regular meeting shall be held every second Monday of the month. Whatever, kung ano man lagay nila dyan. Pwede lang ilagay, it will be conducted, the meetings will be conducted in the principal place of office, and sa may conference room, etc., etc. Or they can even not indicate that. Address lang, okay. Okay. Letter B, the time and manner of calling or conducting regular or special meetings and mode of notifying the stockholders or members. So tandaan niyo, iba yung meetings ng directors and trustees from the meetings of the stockholders and members. Ang meetings ng directors and trustees ay monthly, yung regular meetings nila, while the regular meeting ng stockholders and members ay annual. Once a year lang naman record. Unless meron, again, yung special meeting, syempre iba yun. It is duly called for a special purpose, kaya magkakandak ng special meetings as the need arises. Pero yung regular meeting, may naka-indicate yan sa bylaws kung kailan ba gaganapin yung monthly regular meetings ng mga board of directors at saka yung annual meeting ng stockholders or the members. They should also include in the bylaws, or they may also include in the bylaws, the required quorum in meetings of stockholders or members and the manner of voting therein. So they can provide for a different definition of quorum, but it is submitted that the quorum cannot go below the majority. Ibig sabihin, what they can provide in the bylaws are quorum na mas mataas doon sa minimum requirement ng batas. Kasi ang minimum requirement ng batas nga ay 50% plus 1. So, ibig sabihin, they can indicate there na hindi 50% plus 1 ang quorum ng corporation natin. They can indicate there 60%, 70% para magkaroon ng quorum. If they want to, then they can change the definition of quorum, but they cannot change it below what is required by law. Letter D, the most of which a stockholder, member, director, or trustee may attend meetings and cast their votes. Especially today with the health crisis, no? At least madali nakapag-adapt yung natin, technology natin. Although sabi naman nila, dati ng technology ito, so in-improve na lang, no? So dito, pwede kang mag-attend, ilagay mo dun sa bylaws that you can conduct the stockholder members meetings via video conferencing or teleconferencing. Okay naman yan as long as secured yung inyong mga meetings, yung inyong technology. No? Kasi syempre, mahirap din naman that you are discussing confidential matters or internal affairs, then kayang i-hack yung system ninyo. Problematic naman yung ganun. Make sure that you have a good system in place which kaya nyong secure yung integrity ng inyong meetings. Okay? And syempre, yung security ng bawat isang member or stockholder or director or trustee na attend sa mga meetings na yan. Okay. The form for proxies of stockholders and members and the manner of voting them. Sa stockholders meeting, pwede kang magpadala ng proxy. Diba? Nag-usapan natin to before pag proxy, parang replacement. Hindi ka makaka-attend, magpapadala ka ng agent mo. So, essentially, yung proxy ay parang yung proxy form ay parang special power of attorney kung saan nag-delegate ka ng agent who will attend on your behalf para mag-attend ng stockholders meeting. Pero tandaan natin sa board meetings, hindi pwede ang proxy. Allowed lang ang proxy sa mga stockholders every time that they cannot attend a stockholders meeting. But in case of members ng board of directors, if you are not able to attend the board meetings, then you are not allowed to issue proxy in favor of another person para siya na lang yung member ng board. Bawal yun. Pag stockholder pwede, pero pag board meeting, bawal. Okay. The directors or trustees qualifications, duties and responsibilities, the guidelines for setting the compensation of the directors or trustees and officers, and the maximum number of other board representations that an independent director or trustee may have, which shall, in no case, be more than the number prescribed by the Commission. So dito, sa article sa Revised Corporation Code, meron na tayong qualifications and disqualifications for board of directors at board of trustees. Pero nabanggit ko nga doon during the discussion ng directors and trustees that the corporation may add their own qualifications, especially with respect to the nature of the function of that corporation or the nature of the business of that corporation. So for example, may corporation na information technology, yung nature ng business niya, nag-offer siya ng IT services, then they can include, and it is only reasonable, that they can include na yung magiging member ng director or ng trustee or mga officers ay merong specific set of skills or talents or other qualifications other than those which are indicated in the Revised Corporation Code. So they may require that the seating officers ay dapat graduate ng IT course or meron silang mga or related courses or yung kanilang graduate studies ay may kinalaman din sa information technology. No? Siyempre, okay lang naman yun. Hindi naman siya arbitrary requirement. Pero pag walang kinalaman yung requirement, mahirap naman yun. For example, para ikaw ay maging presidente, for example, ng isang tawag dito, let's say, nasa food industry, it's okay kung i-require ka na meron kang culinary experience or yung education mo ay culinary. Pero parang unfair naman, no? Arbitrary naman kung i-require niya, dapat, bago ka maging president, dapat nag-serve ka as President of the Philippines. So parang ganun. Bakit? No? Anong kinalaman no? Qualification na yun? Why would you require na dapat naging may experience siyang President of the Philippines siya before or dapat ano ka, nasa astronaut ka? Bakit? Di ba? Anong kinalaman nun? O, yung qualifications na yan, ay walang kinalaman doon sa position. So, that can be questioned. Although, allowed yung mga corporations to add their own qualifications, pero dapat germane or related doon sa nature ng business iyang additional qualifications na yan. Also, the corporations may include in their bylaws the time for holding the annual election of directors or trustees and the mode of manner of giving notice thereof. Kung kailan gaganapin yung annual election, pero usually, kino-coincide nila yan with the annual stockholders meeting or annual members meeting. Diba, total, andun naman na rin kayo, then conduct na ninyo yung election. Okay na lang din yun. Mode or manner of giving notice, so they can indicate in the bylaws that the notices should be given personally if they want, or pwedeng ordinary mail, or pwedeng registered mail, or even electronic mail. O, lagi nila by mail, no? By fax machine, okay lang din yun. If they can agree, so short messaging system, SMS or text messages. Text messaging, okay lang. If they want to include that, although wala pa ako na experience, through, tawag dito, social media platforms. I don't know if that would be practicable, no? Pero pwede, no? If they want to include that in their bylaws, so be it. No? It is subject to the approval naman by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Next, the manner of election, the appointment, and the term of office of all officers other than the directors or trustees. So the president may the other officers na hindi 1 year yung term, pwede lang ilagay doon kung ano yung term of office niya. Paano mag-elect? Pwede lang i-require that the election should be made personally or pwede lang i-require that it can be made by proxy or whatever, no? As long as it will be approved by the SEC, then it will be honored, no? It will be applied. The penalties for violation of the bylaws, so they can include monetary penalties if they want, if they will agree, if they will approve it, or they may just indicate their expulsion. Bahala sila, no? Laging lang kung anong penalties for violation of the bylaws. In case of stock corporations, the manner of issuing stock certificates. So how do we issue stock certificates? I don't know if meron ng electronic stock certificates ngayon. Kasi meron ng electronic land titles eh. So I don't know if may electronic stock certificate na. And then such other matters as may be necessary for the proper or convenient transaction of the corporate affairs for the promotion of the good governance and anti-graft and corruption measures. So, if kung ano man yung mga naiisip ng mga stockholders or ng mga directors or trustees na makakatulong doon sa pag-handle ng affairs, internal affairs ng kanilang corporation, then okay lang na ilagay nila yan sa kanilang bylaws. And sabi ng revised corporation code, they may also include an arbitration agreement, no? Pursuant to section 181, medyo malayo-layo pa tayo dito. Pag sinabing arbitration agreement, if there will be dispute with respect to the implementation of the bylaws, then meron silang grievance machinery. Merong mechanism kung paano ba i-address yung issue na yon. Ang tawag din arbitration. Again, meron tayong detailed discussion on this one, but the function of arbitration is to prevent litigation. Para hindi kayo dumiretso na magkasuhan dyan, na mabombard na yung ating mga korte ng mga kaso, let us set up this arbitration agreement kung saan may mga magitan sa dalawang, kung ilan man sila, na panig, no, nag-aaway-away, no, pagtatry pagkasunduin, no, para naman, baka naman kayang solusyonan yung issue ninyo, so para ma-prevent yung immediate filing of cases in court, they may include in their bylaws an arbitration agreement. How do you amend bylaws? Matagal natin pinag-usapan. May dalawang paraan para i-amend ang bylaws. Una, by a majority vote of the directors or trustees and majority vote of the outstanding capital stock or members at a regular or special meeting called for that purpose. So ito yung regular na paraan para i-amend ang bylaws. At medyo mababa yung voting requirement, unlike the amendment of the Articles of Incorporation where the vote required is majority vote from the board of directors and 2/3 vote on the part of the stockholders holding the outstanding capital stock or the members of a non-stock corporation. The amendment must be the decision to amend the articles of bylaws rather should be made at a regular or special meeting called for that purpose. It must be part of the agenda. Itong proposal to amend the bylaws of the corporation. Ito yung regular na paraan. Majority vote from the board of directors, majority on the part of the stockholders and or members. We have learned before that the amendment of the bylaws may be delegated to the board of directors. So the pangalawang paraan para i-amend ng bylaws is by the board of directors alone, sa kanilang kasi dinelegate na nga, when delegated by stockholders owning 2/3 of the outstanding capital stock or 2/3 of the members in case of a non-stock corporation. So if by way of 2/3 vote, dinelegate na sa mga members ng board of directors yung kapangyarihan para i-amend yung bylaws, then so be it kasi dinelegate na ninyo. Pero meron tayo na pag-usapan na rin before, this power, yung pag-delegate, however, is considered revoked when so voted or nagbotohan na by majority of the outstanding capital stock or members in a regular or special meeting. Again, tandaan, kapag nagde-delegate ka ng power to amend the bylaws sa board of directors, ang vote required ay 2/3 vote ng mga owners ng outstanding capital stock or ng members. Pero kung babawiin na ninyo yung power na yan na dinelegate nyo before sa board of directors to amend the bylaws, the only vote required is majority vote. So that's it. So medyo maikli lang itong lecture video na ito and hopefully kahit maikli lang, marami kayong natutunan. And yan, so kung meron kayong questions regarding bylaws, yan, mga na-discuss dito or hindi man na-discuss, you can type them in sa comment section. Wow. Or if you want, you can send a message in our Microsoft Teams, private Microsoft Teams classroom. Again, thank you for watching and goodbye.